Thanks everybody for coming to the committee meeting for Public Relations and Information Technology. Are we recording the name of the member of the public?
I can do it, what's
Yeah.
it?
Tim Wiltshire.
Apologies for absence and reasons given.
We have not received any apologies.
We're all here, aren't we? I
Yeah.
think. Minutes from the previous meeting, which I haven't seen because... I can't hear a word you're saying.
If you can get the president and secretary to agree them,
Okay.
then I'll say what it is there.
Okay.
I'll propose.
I'll second.
We look great.
And then if I could get you to initial there.
Just an initial.
Yeah. And then sign an initial.
So declarations of interest?
None from me.
No, number of me.
No, none from me.
None from me. Right, number 27 on the agenda. To agree to recommend to full council a photography competition via Facebook to produce a whole beach calendar. Which was, I can't remember whose idea that was.
I think it was a general idea
I think it
in one of
was.
the meetings.
Yeah.
I think it's a marvellous idea, but I would say that we can't just keep it to Facebook. I think
No, we need to put posters
it
around
needs
town.
to be, people could submit,
Yeah.
because what I'm finding a lot is that people, even people that used to be on Facebook, aren't anymore.
Okay.
So that avenue needs widening.
So we could use our own.
Well, the notice board on the corner,
Yeah.
that bit we can
Yeah.
utilise.
I think we advertise it on Facebook, the press, posters. In terms of then submitting the actual entries, that can be done probably via email or posting through the letterbox, because then that's easy.
Yeah.
And then it just depends what we're wanting to do in terms of the competition, how it's voted for, because some parish councils and groups do it as a photographer will judge it, and some would do it as a public vote, which then can be done, again, could either be done, like you could have something in maybe Tesco and Co-op to vote for them, and then you could also do voting online, but it depends how you want to run that. But you'd need to get that sort of
It's got to be, if we're going to do this
ready to sell for
competition,
next year.
is it going to be a 2022
It would
calendar?
have to be.
Yeah.
For this
So
room.
we need
So-
to, yeah.
Yeah, I think you
A monthly competition to choose one per month.
We could do.
maybe.
I think you'd run out of time then for a December calendar.
I think what you could do, because you'd want to be selling it like on the lead up to Christmas and stuff like that, but you could, I suppose what you could do, you could get a photographer or something, which I know one of the councillors that suggested the idea is part of a photography club at Long Sutton, and they would, be able to get involved in judging it. You could get somebody to shortlist the 12 for the
Yeah.
month, and then start selling the calendar and have a public vote for the best one in there or something like that. I don't know, because it depends the timescales for getting it organised.
I think we've got to be quick,
Yeah.
because if we're going to go to press and we're going to get it out for next,
You've got to be looking
it's
at,
got to be out for next October.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you're going to be looking at a June cut-off date,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah.
Which will give you...
So
three
that
months to
doesn't give
decide.
us long
Yeah.
to get, so shortlisting and all that is fine,
Yeah.
but also I feel that shortlisting and that is very unfair.
Because you need to somehow decide on.
Come in. I know what it is. Excuse me. Just need to leave the meeting for a minute.
Oh, please you know what it is, or it's something spooky.
Do you just
Something
want to note
spooky.
down that Rick's left?
The exact time of 2:05. Yeah, the shortlisting and things worry me that then everybody doesn't get a
Back.
chance.
That's a copy.
You keep the ball, and he's back at 2:05.
Yeah.
Are there any local printers?
There's Abbey Print and there's one down, is that down Edinburgh Walk? There's a,
Oh yes, there is one down there. I don't know what it's called, I can't remember, but there is, there's
So we
local.
can get some estimates of what the cost
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah,
and I think it needs to be kept as local as possible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
if we can do in Holwich,
because as long as you're covering your costs when you're selling them,
Yeah.
what it costs to print, then it's fine.
Well,
It's-
that's prizes though.
Yeah,
well, we go round and we ask. We
yeah.
We ask
Donations.
businesses and things to donate prizes.
Yeah,
I don't think we've done enough of that in the past as a
because
council.
you could get individual businesses to sell some of them as well.
Well, that was, I thought I would, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we would happily have them on the counter,
Yeah.
so Funky Doras would.
Because if you're doing a very small profit margin, you could then say that that is going back into funding either a specific project or general projects for the following year or.
Yeah, well, if we keep it as like a PR kind of
Mm.
budget
Yeah.
flow, right,
Yeah.
hours, not,
Yeah,
just make sure you know that.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Then we could use that to build up,
yeah.
to be able to
yeah.
eventually build up to a big thing.
And is it just going to be children taking pictures or anybody?
No, I think.
I think anybody.
Anybody, I mean, there can be archived pictures of,
Okay.
you know.
I
Yeah,
think, yeah, as long as it's I just think it's got to be local.
it's just got to be local
Yeah.
pictures.
You know, as long as we,
Yeah, it needs to be within inside the parish boundary.
yeah.
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 I think we could
So-
certainly afford to do £100,
Mhm.
75 and a 50 prize for second and third.
But I think you would get sponsorship. I really think you would get sponsorship
Yeah.
quite easily. If you put the name, I mean, Chosen would sponsor a month.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you asked each shop, even if it's only a
Because
£5,
then you just have a small logo at the bottom of each page
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that month.
I'm just thinking, the firemen did one last year, and I'm thinking what they did, and that's exactly what they did. And then the people that sponsored them sold them as well.
Yeah,
I'm not doing what the Women's Institute did years ago.
I would need considerably bigger ones.
Yeah, I'd need at least 4 months.
So how do we take this forward?
the only question is, I mean, we can sort of put together a press release and get it, because it's agreeing to recommend to full council,
Yeah.
so we've got a little bit of time before full council to sort of get something.
A few days.
2 days.
Yeah, we can just sort of draft something to present to them or something like that, just so we've got ideas. But in terms of, because we haven't got long, we just need to sort of finalise how we're actually going to get the 12 in the calendar and what sort of timescales we're looking at, because we really need to probably do a press release quite soon
Yeah.
to announce it. So we need to just think about when the deadline is for submitting the entries, how we're then going to narrow them down to the 12, and then do we do a first, second and third within those 12?
I think we should perhaps just do the selecting the pictures ourselves in here.
We've got a new lady at the church, Barbara, who has just been promoted to Dean of Rural.
Yeah,
Would that not be a nice idea to ask her to come
Yeah.
on board to
Why not?
judge for us?
Yeah.
yeah,
She's totally independent.
Well, we could whittle it down
I
to.
think it's probably best to have more than one judge. isn't
Yeah.
it?
I think if you had a panel of 3,
Yeah.
but they were not parish councillors, but they were people within the community.
I think people within, because we're doing the local, we're going along the local.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get somebody who was interested in photography, because I feel like you're going to get a variety of people entering, you're going to get some people who are just doing it for a bit of fun, but you're going to get some quite serious photographers as well. So I think they would want to know that there's somebody with a bit of expertise judging as well. But then you have the balance.
Well, I'm
there.
sure we can ask the local photography group.
What about the photographer from The Voice?
Yeah,
Yeah, could ask him, couldn't
could
we?
be quite good, yeah.
Because that's,
Yeah,
he's a professional,
As long as he doesn't want any money.
yeah.
I'm sure he won't.
So if we had a panel of judges, and would they judge on who's going to go in the calendar, so the 12?
Yeah, they would, whatever
Yeah.
evidence came in, they will pick the 12.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're going to have, we're whittling it down to,
Are we going to go for digital prints only? Because if it's digital prints only, we can just stick a monitor up here, in here for them to use,
Yeah.
couldn't we? And then they could
I
just,
think it has to be digital.
Yeah.
because if not, we're going to have to somehow scan it in to get it printed.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then the quality's probably not
Yeah.
good.
yeah, so digital
Yeah.
photography only.
Mhm.
so we will ask Barbara, the bloke at the Voice.
Yeah.
Can anybody else think of a local?
What about asking one of the district councillors who we never see?
You could do. I don't know whether you want to keep it non-council.
Yeah, I'd like to get
Okay.
to non-council if we can. What about,
If we're going to ask Co-op or Tesco, can we not ask
Yeah,
the manager,
Yeah.
manageress, I think manageress,
of one of them
or
to.
one of those two?
Yeah.
Yeah, person of the year last year, Dave.
Dave.
actually, I know you're joking about that,
I know.
but that would be a really good one.
Dave would be fantastic.
It's got to be somebody who's, you know, fairly
Is he?
popular within the
Co-op.
Yeah.
community.
He's
so
He's
not-
Tesco.
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 Yeah.
They did a competition for the best customer service and he won it hands
Last
down.
year, yeah.
Oh.
Brilliant guy.
Because you don't want the public to kind of take offence to the judges.
No,
That's
I mean, you can't
Which one
offend.
is Dave?
He's not got a lot of hair, a
Right.
bit shorter
He's
than
the
me.
one who used to squirt the hand sanitizer into your hands.
Oh,
Never
yeah,
mind.
Okay, he's always chatty.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen him for a while though.
He's been on the
Until
tills.
this morning, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think you've got
do
some
we-
options.
Agree to write a letter, or agree to take to full council
Yeah.
There we are.
these 3 people.
Yeah, I'm happy
Yeah.
with those three.
Then we could write a letter, or Brandy could write a letter
Yeah.
to those 3 people.
So when do we want the deadline for entries?
End of June. 30th of June.
Because then we can put, after it's gone to full council and presumably been agreed, then we can start advertising it, put posters up,
Yeah.
so people have got enough time to get the photographs in.
Yeah.
Ready. And then
Because we're not getting a mixture of winter and all.
when
Yeah.
would we want to be starting to sell it?
End of October.
Yeah, even mid-October.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the calendars go out more or less as soon as the Easter eggs have gone, don't they?
Yeah.
It's October.
And then we've got to look at what price you're going to charge.
I think,
Probably
yeah.
St Mark's are charging £8, I believe, for theirs.
Really?
Yeah.
We did one for Fosdyke and they went out. They actually cost £10 to print.
Did they?
Gosh.
Wow.
And they weren't
I
very
think
good.
we need to find prices for how much it costs to print.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to know the quote.
And then we,
I'll do some digging
That's
tomorrow.
Well, I've got they are in London, but they print some magazines for me.
yeah,
And I can ask Harry. how much
We also want to look at what size calendar that we want, don't we? Do
Yeah.
we want an A4 size?
I think
1 page per month?
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
about a decent
Yeah.
size, isn't
Well, it does because
it?
yes.
Yeah.
because if you go for a bigger like A3 one, it's going to be expensive.
Too big, yeah.
No,
So if we go for an A4 size,
Yeah.
1 page per month.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then that gives you the option to have in your photo one, doesn't it?
And
And
then,
then underneath the photo,
Yeah.
the name of the photographer.
And a
Yeah.
caption of some sort.
Yeah.
and then we're going to talk to businesses. Probably we can do that a little bit later once we can announce it,
Yeah.
and then start talking to businesses to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
who wants to sponsor.
Some businesses might want a particular month.
Yeah.
That might be the month they opened, or,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, so we can play around with that, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just have a little space for a logo or something at the bottom,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
say this one's sponsored by, and then they can all sell them in their shops.
So this is on the full council agenda.
It's on the full
isn't it?
council agenda, yeah. So we can produce a quick document to go in the drive with the summary of what's going to happen,
Yeah.
when things are happening, and then we can, once it's agreed, we can produce a press release to go out, because if we're saying it at full council, I'm sure the press will pick up on it, and we need something sort of ready to
Yeah.
go
So
out.
on the sponsorship side then?
Yeah.
Are we going to set a minimum donation? Because if you go down the route of saying having £20 per company, it's not a lot of money, is it? To be honest, but that would then cover the prize money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would say 25, but the fire brigade did 50.
Did they?
Yeah,
What, for sponsorship?
yeah,
Right.
I'm sure it was. Or, no, hang on, I may be wrong on that. I know we gave them 50, so that could be. But I think if you say 25, that's a fair amount.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
'Cause
obviously for smaller businesses, that's hard, that's a lot, but
Yeah.
for bigger businesses, it's a drop in the ocean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So we need a proposer and a seconder for this.
I'll propose.
I'll second.
And I'll agree.
I agree.
That was easy, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, right, number 28 on the agenda, to discuss and agree to recommend to full council sending out Christmas cards to parishioners.
I'd like to propose that we don't do this, because A, we can't afford it, and B, it's too late for Christmas.
I think Sam's got some ideas, haven't you? Would you like to? I know we're talking...
I'm not saying all parishioners, because there's no way we could possibly do that this year.
No,
But I do think we should do it next year,
do you?
yes.
What's the
But
population?
what about just,
8,500.
Okay.
we have the local, the OAP community halls,
Mhm.
What about local care homes?
yeah,
Just
local
local
care homes.
care homes,
Just, I'm just saying the shops in the high street.
and anybody over 100.
I think we've got two, haven't we?
I think we have, yeah.
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 Yes, with the guy that came to the remembrance.
Yeah, Jim, yeah.
I think if we looked
Yeah,
into
well.
doing it for next year, we just have to think very carefully about how we select
Yeah.
the
Who's gonna
group
get
that gets it,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you don't want to start.
You can't
Making
offend, but I
it
think if we just, even if it's just this year, just the care homes and the shops down the high street.
Time is money, isn't
Mm.
Did you say?
Right, well, I've got 80 Christmas cards in my car at this very moment that I'm willing to donate.
it? Thank you very much.
Well, that sounds good.
Mhm.
So,
Do we want to decide then who they go to?
Yeah. I mean, do you want to do it to every individual resident at the care home? or do you
no, I
want
think we
the
just
care
send
home
it
in
to
general?
the care home.
And what about the local hospital then? Sent one there as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So how many have we got?
Care homes.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I don't know, I only know of two.
You've got Holt
Sure,
Hospital and then
There's
you've
Beach
got...
there's
Lodge.
loads.
There's Beach Lodge, which is in just outside Hull Beach. There's the one along Boston Road, isn't there?
Mhm.
Is that just residential care?
Not sure. Not sure. You also asked someone to the daycare centre on Park Road,
Yeah.
next to the Women's Institute, because
Yeah.
they've said in the past, haven't they, that they'd like to get involved
I mean,
in
to be
things.
honest, like thinking about next year, or even this year, depending on how many we've got to send out, you could do it rather than doing it to an individual, because that's going to be, you're either going to select a particular group or you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Could you send it out to groups? So you send it out to like care homes, you
Yeah.
could send it out to all of like the community groups and things,
Yeah,
which quite would include a wide range of people then, but you send it out to the organisation, because if you're thinking about, you know, events we're going to be doing and things like that, if we can build up ties with the different groups
That's
and we
right,
send
yeah.
out a Christmas card to them.
It's something so small, but
You can do all the shops as well.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Just,
Mm-hmm.
If you did
it's so
businesses
easy
and
to
groups,
do.
because then you're sending it to an organisation rather than, it would feel personal,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but rather than an individual, because that's going to be more manageable, but reach a wider range of people rather than selecting an age bracket
Yeah.
or something.
We can also deliver them by hand as well,
Yeah.
rather than paying postage, because that's what would cripple us.
Well, we don't need to pay postage,
No.
do we? It's
No.
So
I'm
in
just thinking
terms
of
of-
walking around his legs, so.
she'll be tired, but she'll be all right.
So for this year, what are we suggesting? Just
Shops,
shops?
shops, care homes,
Shops, care homes,
local hospital.
the local hospital and the daycare centre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know when we've done the letters out to businesses before, I think it's roughly 40 to 50 we've done. So that's probably where you're estimating, it just depends how broad you're going.
And are we just talking about the centre of Hull Beach, or are we talking about the villages?
Unfortunately, I think this year it just has to be,
Yeah, but we look at then next year we have to create a proper list
yeah.
Yeah.
of everybody and then we can start.
Perhaps next year we can look at having the favourite picture. of the,
Made into a Christmas card.
into a
Very
Christmas
good
card.
That would be
idea.
nice, yeah,
Yeah, especially if it's a winter related one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
That would
very
be
good
nice.
idea.
And then we can buy them
And
two.
the money from the sales of the calendars would go, yeah.
Go towards the
Yeah.
cost of,
And then we
printing
can send
Christmas
it out
cards.
to all different organisations and
Yeah.
groups, care homes within the town.
yeah.
'Cause I know we always get a card from John Hayes and
Yeah, I'll get one from him as well.
it just, I know it's his secretary
Yeah.
Yeah.
sending them to everybody, but do you know what it does?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's connecting us with the community,
Yeah,
isn't it?
And that's, I think, what we need to be doing at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
We do.
are you happy for me, we've got to go to full council, but if I start writing the list
Yeah,
for who he's going to,
More than happy.
yeah? And I'll have that ready for the 15th, isn't it, Monday night?
yeah, because then if anybody asks who's it going to, you've got the list
I've got the list ready,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
fine. Yeah.
I've got a little label printer at home that could do the address labels on the.
I don't mind handwriting if you,
Okay, I'm just not very good neat writer, that's all. That's what I was going to say. But if
Do
you
you
don't
have
mind
any
handwriting.
stamps that say Old Beach Parish Council? You know, the old fashioned,
Oh,
Ink
yeah.
stamps, I'm
Ink
sure
stamps.
they're not expensive.
Yeah.
Have you
I
seen
still
any
use
in the
one of
safe?
those.
Sorry?
Have you seen any in the safe, in the small safe? So
No.
I know there's got quite large stamps.
I found a stamp sort of print thing of Carter's Park, which is
Oh,
quite
right.
interesting. But nothing of like,
Old Beach.
yeah, I suppose you'd want the logo that we have
Yes,
now, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Which we could look into getting one.
It wouldn't be expensive.
No, you're good. Because then that could be like the signature on it.
I'll come up with a list then ready for Monday
Evening.
Yeah.
And
evening.
then we arrange a time to, not, somebody needs to help you.
Yeah. We'll get you one of those pads to keep you.
Can you get me a wrist splint or something if I'm doing the lot?
And we can arrange a time to do that, to actually
Yeah.
write them, but
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get together to deliver so that
Yeah.
one of us goes into every place.
Yeah.
I think it's,
Yeah. If I'm helping writing, you'll just have to tell me about spelling because
if I remember rightly, yes, that might be a good idea.
that'd be a good idea.
Can't be good at everything.
No.
Can you?
So in my case, it'd be nice to be good at
We
something.
have a proposer for that in a second?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Right, number 29, I think. Yeah, number 29. To discuss how the council had perceived and to encourage positive engagement. This was an agenda item that you
I am really concerned, obviously, how we're perceived, and I think we've got the perfect opportunity. There's a lot of new blood.
Mm.
I think now is their time to be getting out there, showing them what we're about, what we do.
I mean, all the stuff that I've read in the press recently is all negative.
Yeah.
It's always about who's leaving, who's gone,
Yeah. We don't get anything.
indicating why they might have gone
Mhm.
in a roundabout way. And they never say, you know, we've had 4 new councillors this year.
No,
and
exactly.
name them.
Yeah.
We've had more than that this year.
Have we?
Yeah.
But I think when it came to it, I thought the best idea would be if we all, every councillor,
Mhm.
had a photograph,
We wanted to do this with
had
Sam, didn't we?
Mhm.
a bio, just a small one.
Mhm.
Just
Put it on the website.
we'll put it on the website.
Mhm.
Just who I am, who you are, what you do, a little bit of background about you,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and why you're doing what you do with the
Why you
council.
joined the council?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
I
if
mean
we
yours, Rick, is perfect.
Is it?
Yeah, because you swapped sides. But
yeah,
well, you did, didn't
I
you?
did. Well, I did, yeah.
we've been encouraging this before, haven't we? Because
Yes.
we were doing it. We were going to be doing it on Facebook and
Yeah.
doing a little bio.
Some people didn't want that.
I
Some
think we
people
could
at
do
the
it
time.
on both, to be honest.
Yeah.
But also, I think if we got that put together and we had the little photographs, the contact details, and a little bio, it should go up in the notice board as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So make
absolutely.
sure. So if we can put it together, it can go on the website, Facebook page, notice board, but also then could put posters around in key places as well.
And we send a copy to the Voice.
Yeah. And just say this is our
Regarding,
current.
this is who we are, this is
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't think the lead author at the Voice is on our side, is she? Sometimes.
Is that the lady that,
That's the
Think-
other one.
Is it? Okay.
Vicky.
Yeah.
It most of her articles go across to the other papers as well. don't they?
she's the one that came to the remembrance taking
Yes.
photographs.
She was the one that reported about John Spencer leaving.
But then if we're going to do something positive,
We've
we
got
have
to
to
give
push
them
it.
positive things to write about.
Yeah.
Because unless we're providing the content, there isn't
Yeah.
anything to,
No.
you just focus on what's happened, don't you?
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
let's be proactive. So I would recommend that at full council we ask, is it on the,
It's not on the agenda.
It's not, but it's already been agreed to do the bios and stuff like that.
right, so at full council, can we say
we can report
can
it.
we, the royal we, Peter, that ask each councillor to provide a photograph,
Yeah.
a small bio?
Well, what we could do is at a meeting, because if you want it all, you don't necessarily want their Facebook profile picture. You
No,
probably just want
No.
a nice one on a background, so we could actually just take the photos for them.
Just a
Because
headshot.
yeah,
That's all you need, though.
because what we had last time, it did take forever to get photos from people, and we haven't even got all of them yet.
Well, we've got lanyards, haven't we?
Yeah,
With Old Beach Parish Council.
and we still need
And
photos.
we haven't done those yet,
No, I
have
haven't got a photo on mine, so.
I haven't even got London.
No, you're not?
Yeah.
We've
So I
got
think
some.
we could, I mean, to be honest, we could just take the photographs at the next meeting in between the two.
Okay,
yeah.
Just always talking about
So even though it's not on the agenda, I can still
Yeah, because
make a
we've,
comment.
when Sam was chair of PR and IT, we
Yeah.
got it agreed.
Yeah.
The intention was to put them on Facebook,
Okay.
So you could
but it's
just
still the
mention
same
it
principle.
in your chairman's report.
Yeah, so if we say that we want a little bio from people, but I think we need to limit it in terms of number of words or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, because some of us are going mental and some
Yeah,
of us
because it needs to be a little
No,
short.
that really wasn't a turn to you, Rick.
Because
Actually,
On
it wasn't
the-
Rick, did it?
on the website, we've got the name, the contact email address, what committees they're on, and then we sort of need bio, why you joined the council.
Yeah.
So I don't know how number of words would be appropriate.
I think we just ask people to keep it short.
Yeah.
I think if you say
Short and
keep it
sweet.
short,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so a few lines,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that'll be fine.
So it's just wanting your name, when you move to Old Beach, or wherever you've been in Old Beach all your life, what your career history working-wise was, and why you joined the council, and that's ample.
Yeah,
You don't need
Yeah.
just keep
anything
it
more
some
than that, do you?
information. So it actually makes us look normal rather than
Yeah.
like the annoying people.
But this is it, I think people don't perceive us as being normal everyday people that actually have a job, that go out there
No,
and
apparently we're all only here to
Yeah.
earn money, aren't we?
Yeah.
Line our own pockets.
so these things need to be out
Yeah.
there in the
Yeah.
open, because if they're not, to be fair, if you don't tell people anything, they'll make it up.
Yeah.
So let's
Which
have it
is
out
what's
there,
happening.
yeah,
Yeah.
so let's have it out there and open.
Are
Yeah.
phone numbers on the website?
I wouldn't
Um,
suggest you use phone numbers.
No.
But you could use
phone
the
numbers are not.
No.
email address, the
Yeah.
Old Beach
Yeah.
Parish Council email address.
That's fine.
Phone numbers for councillors are in the drive for
Yeah.
us to use.
If they want our phone numbers, they can go onto the SHDC, they're on there,
Yeah, true they are.
if they want to ring us.
If they want to dig enough to get anybody's
Yeah.
phone number, let's
Yeah.
face it, you can get it.
Yeah.
But we
Well,
should really be using our parish council
Yeah,
emails.
our parish
Yeah.
council email would be the best.
Mm.
Okay, is that?
It's to discuss, so, and as we've already made an agreement previously on
We don't
this
need to.
subject,
It doesn't need to go on.
no, if you just put it in your report
Okay.
and then we can move forward with it because it has previously been agreed,
Yeah.
so we just need to action it now. So we don't need to make any agreement on
No.
that one today.
Steve will know that, will he?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he will know it's been previously agreed,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's fine.
Right, so moving on to number 30 on the agenda. To agree who will contact the school and who will liaise with them in the formation of...
This goes back to Sam again, doesn't it? Because Sam is exceptionally keen on getting people from UAH or whatever it used to be called to have a youth council to run alongside us, didn't he?
Yeah.
But then obviously he left and it went out the window.
He did mention, I think, once at one full council meeting, he did stand up and say something about it. Has he
Yeah.
It was the
spoken?
lad that came and did a
Job placement.
job
Yeah.
placement thing.
He
was-
wasn't he?
Yeah, he was keen in getting involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because Sam found out loads of information and it was in one of the agenda folders,
It was.
all documentation of how to set up a youth council. And I think the idea was, because it was quite complicated, it might take some time, maybe the first step is just to get 2 or 3 people to link with the council at the school, and they are advisors, and then they actually form the group themselves. So we support a
Support
small
them
group.
rather than us organising
And
it.
yeah, because if we form it for them, then they're not really taking ownership of it, and it could just sort of
Yeah.
go downhill.
So really, I suppose our first thought would be to go and talk to, is it Sheila Page now
Yeah,
at UAH, and ask her if
another
she could
meeting,
suggest pupils that she would feel.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll put a thing up on notice board, won't they, say, blah, 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 blah.
I need to read up about youth council, I think, 'cause
Yeah,
It is in the,
yeah, if we find the document
folder,
and then
it is.
we can
it's
send it
quite a long
through to
document
you.
to read.
Yeah, but it had loads of examples of how
Mm.
they've done it, because some of them, you can sort of actually run it so they've got powers to make agreements on certain things, and some of them have their own budget. It just depends how far you want to go, but you've got to have that. It advised that the best way to do it is for them to actually sort of do the setup themselves, because they need to take ownership of it. If you try and force it on them,
Yeah.
then it's not going to work.
No,
to
we
get
just need to give the advice, don't
So
we?
to
Yeah.
get the few to just come and generally be at the meetings to see what goes on.
Yeah, and it really depends what part of it they actually want to do, because obviously we split it off into committees, don't we?
Yeah.
And we have different departments. So do they want to just generally be the voice of young people, or is there a specific area, a specific project they want to look into?
Just
It
link
really
it to park
depends
or
where they
anything,
want
wouldn't
to. Yeah,
Open spaces actually would be a really good
that would be good.
way of
Mhm.
getting them involved.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, then we're talking gardening clubs and things again, and I know that, but youth council gardening club would be amazing.
yeah. So I think it's the small things they can get involved with for the moment, and then start building it up.
Yeah, build it up over the years,
Yeah.
if it works.
And then they could turn themselves into a proper council if they wanted to, or it's just a group that we liaise with and they get involved with different projects and
What
things.
sort of age groups are we?
No, I think you've got to be looking at,
11 to 16?
I think maybe older than 11 maybe.
I think, yeah,
The trouble is, they're not going to be able to have meetings during the school time, are they? I wouldn't think.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't see why not.
well, they do have school councils, don't they? Normally
Yeah.
they meet during the lunch break
Ah, okay.
for that. I mean, you could, I suppose it's down to the school as to whether they would feel it's appropriate for, but maybe year 9 onwards would be a good age group.
What year is that then?
Uh,
How old is that?
that is-
Exactly.
That's 15, 16-year-old.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, that's a good age.
Year 9's
So
14
they
to
would be
15.
less-
Yeah, 14, 15,
The
16.
GCSE
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand all this year
They
long,
just
isn't it?
adjust.
Doesn't work for me.
Yeah, but I think if we have the initial discussion with the school, see whether they think it's feasible, if they've got pupils that want to get involved, and start the ball rolling.
Is this just the academy or we're talking
Yeah,
about?
that's the only
Just the
secondary school
academy.
we've
That's
got.
there's
Yeah.
all the others, okay.
The rest are all primary schools, aren't
Yeah.
they? So.
Yeah.
And who's going to volunteer to head that up then?
Mm.
All heads will go down, aren't they?
Yeah, everybody's head shoots down.
Well,
I mean, do a couple of us just want to have a meeting with somebody at the
yeah, I'm happy to do that. But I think you're sort of your age group.
I know it's awful, so, but I do think somebody your age,
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
gonna want
You're the
they're
prime,
gonna,
you're the prime candidate, you are. Aren't you? Sorry.
and they know, people know me from, and they automatically gonna go, teacher.
Yeah, that's
So I'm
true. Yeah, I'm happy to.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm happy if you take the lead, that's fine.
There you go then.
Yeah.
I'll
That's the job,
propose you two then.
And I'll second him. I think you've just
The
been
question is when, I suppose, after
Yeah.
in the New Year sometime.
Yeah, in the new year, yeah. So if we make contact as soon as possible, because it sometimes takes quite a while to get things arranged.
The new council member,
Mark.
Does he teach then?
No, he was at the Peel, wasn't he?
Was he?
Or what is now, whatever it is, I can't remember.
It is actually
But it's
University
linked
of
with-
Lincoln.
Yeah, it's
Um,
linked with the UAH, isn't it?
Does he still teach then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's another one that I would say, great for advisory, but it puts the kids off if they've got
Yeah.
teachers there.
Yeah.
I do know it's alright.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, good.
So S&S then.
So, did we propose a second?
Oh,
Yeah, we did.
yeah, we
done
that,
Sorry.
yeah.
So, moving on over the page to item 31, to discuss putting an article in the Free Press. This was just my idea, really, just to try and get something positive out, even if it's only our events next year or just
Mhm.
something.
We've got something that's really planned, haven't we? We could certainly make a press announcement about the calendar
Yeah,
and the photo competition,
Yeah,
couldn't we?
calendar,
That'd be
photo
good.
Calendar, photo competition,
Yeah.
and
Christmas
we'll
cards.
put, yeah, no, let's just let
Right.
Christmas cards just happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
And then we are, at full council, will agree in the 2022 calendar of events.
yeah.
yeah.
So,
so that could go in, and the bio thing that we're doing.
yeah.
Well, all of us.
Yeah. I
That'd be
think
quite a
that-
big article, that's it, wouldn't you think?
Maybe
Well, I think we
It's
can
a page,
separate
isn't it, if you
we
think
can
about it?
separate it, can't we? We
Yeah.
don't have to put it all in
Yeah.
one.
Because I think if you did the bios of these are your councillors and also combined that with advertising for
Yeah.
caution, so that could be one.
Yeah.
We could do one of here's the events for next year, and then we could do one about the photography competitions.
Yeah.
So if you do, if they don't put them all in at once, or,
Yeah.
Are we allowed to actually advertise our vacancies that we've got in
Yeah.
the press?
yeah,
Yeah, I think that'd be nice to say, here are
Almost
your
come and join
councillors.
us.
Yeah,
Yes.
come and join us.
we're a broad selection of people.
Yeah,
We haven't got really got an advertising budget, have we?
no. No, normally we just sort of send them through
I think that's
articles.
it, yeah.
I
Yeah.
did,
An
I did
article
speak
rather
to
than-
the woman in question.
Yeah,
What's her name again?
Victoria.
Big-
Victoria.
Victoria.
I just said to her, do we pay? She said, no.
No.
You can put it.
if you want as like a section of a page for advertising, then you do, but like,
Okay,
we just normally send in articles and then they will fit it in
Yeah.
somewhere.
okay, oh, cool.
Are they guaranteed to go in, or do they decide
Um,
themselves whether?
They usually,
it really depends on how much space they've got.
yeah,
Yeah.
it probably won't go in the week you send it, but at some stage.
If it's a good story, it will go in. But you do tend to get, after the full council meeting, they normally, both papers always run a story of some sort.
Yeah.
So if we've got,
Ideal opportunity on Monday to
Yeah.
speak to it.
if we've got ideas of what we wanted to put in, because they tend to just do a synopsis of the meeting and say this has been done, this has been done. But if we want it as a whole separate article, then I think we just need to have the conversation.
Yeah.
Does that tend to go? I only buy the Free Press, and I've never seen anything.
The free press goes out on Tuesday.
Tuesday,
doesn't
the
it?
Guardian on the Thursday, and the Voice on Wednesday.
I've never seen any
Wednesday night.
articles written in the Free Press about Holbeach Parish.
I've only ever seen them online.
Sometimes
I
they're
don't-
online, it depends, they don't normally have enough time between them.
Yeah,
So it might go into the Guardian,
Okay.
but quite a lot of the time it will go into the Voice.
but if we send the article to all of them,
Yeah,
So
then it
the Free
depends.
Press and the Guardian are
same.
They're the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but the Voice is obviously different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just send it to both of them and then,
Okay.
I think a lot of people now have the Voice because it's the free,
yeah.
so.
And
the
normally,
Guardian's got quite
when we've
expensive.
sent in articles before to the Voice, it always normally gets put in
Yeah.
somewhere, wherever they can fit it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So how do we take that forward?
I think,
Into your chairman's report.
Yeah.
yeah, and so we're looking at putting these articles across, because we, in conjunction with the clerk, because the clerk is a press officer, we have authority to put press releases out. So it would just be informing the council of what ones you're
Okay.
planning on doing for the next month. And then we'll just have to make sure we're organised, ready for, you know, the meeting and
So
whatever.
Jan can do that.
Yeah,
Have you got a good camera?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think about that. I'm just thinking about, photos of people, Monday night would be the ideal time, wouldn't it?
yeah, I can take them, because I have the camera there anyway
Yeah.
to film, so.
Shirt and ties it.
Right, I must get my hair done.
Yeah, no masks.
No problem.
Go get your hair done, Peter.
Yeah.
So that really does link into number
They
32,
do, yeah.
doesn't it? To discuss and agree the way forward to advertise for the co-option of new members.
I think that really combines with the, you know, having the pictures of us and the little bio
Yeah.
and stuff.
It's also sort of ties in with that lady on Facebook who I said we'd stick on the agenda
Mhm.
about how to make us more popular, because she was on about why don't we stand on the corner handing out leaflets
Yeah,
for co-option and things like that. I mean, we can
yeah.
certainly
think-
afford to run off a couple of hundred leaflets and
I
stand out in the
found
cold.
different posters and stuff for co-option, because a lot of them are very basic, which doesn't really give people enough information. But I think the main thing that a lot of people want to know is what do we actually do?
Yeah.
Because if they want to know what we do, so they know whether they want to join us or not.
But if we stand on the corner,
Yeah.
like the Jehovah's Witnesses,
But I
and just
did-
hand them out and tell
I
people.
found one parish council that did quite a nice poster. It was actually an explanation of their precept, and it had little images and little kind of descriptions of parks, allotments
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So if we could combine, you know, this is how you know, get co-opted, very briefly, but if you want more information, contact
Yeah.
Clark. And then just a very brief kind of bit at the bottom of maybe explaining what each of our committees do
Yeah,
Yeah,
and what we're responsible for, so people
works.
got the information of
yeah.
what we're actually about.
because
And you
When
could put
talking
that
to
on the back
people,
of that
that's what I
poster
get
on my
asked.
design, couldn't you?
Yeah,
That you never responded to. Did you
Yeah.
see it?
that's it, yeah.
that I get asked
Bit
all the
rude.
time is, well, how much time would I need? Because,
Who knows? I mean,
yeah,
Yeah, it's sort of like a job description of a
Yeah,
committee.
yeah,
So what the responsibilities are, so we've got the different committees, so you've got different
Mhm.
areas you can get involved in, so it makes it quite simple.
yeah,
And then just sort of say what, you know, qualities you need, how much time, but it's really how much time you want to put into it.
It
can
is.
vary.
it is. I
So,
mean, if you just do the meetings and you're looking at
yeah,
2-3 hours a month, aren't
if you want to be on one of the simple committees
Yeah.
and that's it, and you just kind of pop in, then you can do that, or
Yeah.
you can get heavily involved and do everything.
Yeah.
Do we advertise on the parish notice board for co-option?
Yes.
So is it
Whenever
on-
we have a vacancy, it goes up on there.
Right.
So there's different official, the problem is it's not easy to read it because it's the official stuff that comes through from South Holland. So it's just like the boring form of there's been a vacancy of blah blah blah, and then it's the note, you get that first, and then you get the fact that 10 electors can request an election for that in particular seat, not for the whole council. So I think there's confusion around that. And then if they don't request it, then it's available for co-option. So you get 3 separate things and they all have to go up. But it's not a nice clear advertising, we've got a vacancy, if you see what I mean.
So we can knock one up, couldn't we?
Yeah.
To go alongside those 3.
I mean, again, the thing that I read, I think that might have been in the Free Press, was that Dan had left and
Yeah.
Eddie had left.
Yeah.
And it didn't say that there were then 2 vacancies, but it didn't say that there were
No.
5 others.
Yeah. Yeah.
so I still think that the best way that we're going to get people is by showing them what we do,
Yeah.
Talking to
that
them.
we are talking to them, and that we are a cross-section of people, that,
Yeah,
they're-
yeah.
that we're not all just,
Well, we did look at having like a councillor's open day, didn't we?
That's just what I was
Yeah.
going to
So
say.
it never took off, did it?
Is that worth as a public meeting?
I think that's some kind of like a combination of your going to the market idea and things
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So I think you've got various different ways of getting it out to people. I would happily create a nice little poster
Mm-hmm.
of, because if we could do a general one that is, we have vacancy
Mm.
/s, and then what we do, and very briefly how you become a councillor, then that can be utilised everywhere.
Yeah,
And then we can put it up in the notice board, we can put it up in clean places,
yeah.
do it on Facebook, press, etc.
I'm quite happy standing on the corner in the cold hand and leaflets.
Yeah. But if we can create something that is an easy
I've got
thing
up
to
there
hand
from in the
out.
shop on the counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And also, if we did have a market stall, we could have a set there that we just
Yeah,
give
yeah.
out to people. Something that's eye-catching, that's got the key information on, so they
Yeah.
understand what we do,
Yeah.
and what's involved.
Same as the food festival. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
you know, lots of
Yeah.
people go to that.
Come and meet your
Rather
local
than
council.
just,
Come
you
and meet
know,
your local
walk around.
councillors.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who I was. everybody knew Stephen, of course. But, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So we're going to do a press release about the who our councillors are, etc., and we're going to have a poster to advertise vacancies a bit clearer.
And that does kind of incorporate the positivity and giving
And then
people a chance to come on and join us.
There's no harm, are there, in all these things we're going to chuck at the free press, is to have just a little bit at the bottom saying we currently have X amount of
Yeah,
vacancies.
for everything we do.
Yeah, because that might bring people in, might it?
Mhm. Yeah. I shall propose that then.
Okay,
I'll second it.
I've heard it. Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
number 33 on the agenda, to agree to recommend full council to have a stall at the Thursday market.
This is me.
Mhm.
I think it would be a good idea. If we could get 2 or 3 councillors to do a couple of hours over the day of the market and do it on don't have to do it every single week of the market, do it once or twice a month, get us all out, meeting our public, get them to know us, so they can come and have a chat and a moan. We had moaning people last time that we
Yeah,
resolved
because
problems.
you, me and Sam did it last
Yeah.
time. We just
Mm.
went down there
Yeah,
and just had a chat with people.
yeah. And some people were quite chatty, weren't they?
Yeah.
Until,
Yeah.
Did something bad happen?
can I say no?
Well, yeah.
Well, we were asked by the district council not to be there.
Okay.
Because the market belonged to them and not us.
They believed it was causing
And
confusion
it would cause
between
confusion.
district and parish.
Yes.
So we were.
So we have to get their permission?
No.
No.
If you want an actual stall,
You would
then
have
you
to.
would get like a market stall.
Yeah.
If we can't do that, we can just go down
Yeah.
because it's a public area.
Yeah.
But
I've got a Paul Foster, whatever his name,
Yeah.
I can't pronounce him. He has given me a number of a person to ring.
yeah,
Who will be
because.
very amicable towards us.
Mhm.
So I could certainly give them a call in the week if
I
you want.
mean, what we could do is you could do the market one month and then a different area of town another month
Yeah.
and kind of move round.
Yeah. Well, the market and then the
Churchyard.
Hill.
Market Hill,
Market
yeah.
Hill, yeah,
Crossroads.
yeah,
What about in the foyer of Tesco or?
yeah,
Yeah, we're doing that, so let us.
Do that.
yeah.
They do have a policy of not allowing political things going on in the co-op,
There's
but then
nothing
we're not
political about the
political.
parish council.
No.
We're not a
No.
political entity.
No.
And we're just
So-
there for people to have a
Yeah.
chat to
I'm
us.
sure if we ask the managers, they're not going to say no, are
Same with the co-op.
Yeah.
So if we asked different people for permission,
Yeah.
if it's a public area, then we can do it anyway,
Yes.
so that's fine.
When do the markets start?
They're every
they? Every
Thursday.
Thursday.
We're talking about the ones in the public car park.
Yeah.
Oh, they start at 8 o'clock, don't they?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you intending, I'm just playing devil's advocate, what are you intending to get from it?
Just to A, meet the public so they know who we are. B, be able to tell them what we do and why we do it.
Yeah.
So ask if they've got any issues that they would potentially like to be resolved. And then
Only so that
encourage,
I'm just saying so that we're clear on.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
and
it-
encourage member people to jump on board
because
if we
again,
possibly can.
this was agreed as a trial before, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And we did it once,
Mhm.
And we never went back to it.
but we never went back to it because we sort of got
Because
past
you
it.
were ticked off.
Yeah.
District.
So I think we just need to be clear as what we're actually going there for
Yeah.
and where are the locations we want to go. And if we move round and we're
Yeah.
not in one place all the time,
Yeah.
then it's, you know,
I mean, there's nothing stopping us going out to the Herne or,
yeah,
That's
Well,
what I was
other
just, that was
places.
in my head.
yeah.
Yeah.
You've only got to go down there for an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's like having alternating the full council meetings between villages and
Yeah,
here. I think it's quite important.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I agree.
I still haven't managed to talk to, but I know where he is now in Albury St John's, so I will go. What's his name? Cross that.
So I'm quite happy to propose that.
So we amending the agenda item to
Amend
not
to Thursday and other locations.
other locations,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Good, yeah,
All in favour?
great.
So we've agreed to propose a secretary to the amendment, and
Yeah.
now we have to agree the amendment. So
Okay.
the end of the proposal.
I'll propose that we agree the amendment.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Or a group.
Right, moving on to number 34 on the agenda, to agree the fees for freedom of information requests.
I don't know who raised this, but while we were talking in there, we had a
Yeah.
quick Scooby-Doo on internet about how much we can charge, and we were allowed to charge up to a maximum of £450.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's, if I remember it rightly, it's based on £25 per hour
Right.
to do it. But if we can defer that until next month, then I'll dig right into it and see exactly what we're allowed to charge. Because some cases, people can ask for information and we're legally allowed to say, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we need to get the rules.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
right.
if we, because we've got the freedom of information request policy on our website, and if we don't hold the information and things like that, then we don't have to do
Yeah.
it, because obviously we don't have it. But then, yeah, there's different reasons why.
Yeah, I know if you do a freedom of information to the BBC, there's certain areas that they're legally not obliged to tell
Yeah, if
people.
it's data protection issue, or
Yeah,
if they don't hold the information, or something like that, then
Yeah.
you don't give
or if
it.
they don't like you, because that's how
What
the
are the
BBC
requests
are.
normally? Are they sort of
Those
more
are
historical
yeah.
things?
Normally, every single time we've pretty much had a request, it is normally quite historical. And obviously, because most of us are quite new now, it's not like you can just go and ask a council and say, when was that? So it is a lot of digging over old stuff.
So what sort of thing, give me an example, because I'm a bit,
We've had requests about,
Yeah, so it really varies. It depends. There's normally like a topic they want to find out about,
yeah,
and it might be an agreement that was made 10 years ago,
yeah,
or
I think he
something's
did one about the
happened.
football club, didn't he?
Yeah.
Why we charge X amount for the football club, but we don't get any benefit from it, and
Yeah,
blah,
there's
blah, blah.
different-
Things like that, you know,
Right.
who signed the lease, and
Yeah.
it's usually on a quite vindictive nature from one person.
So will this normally be Jen and Brandy that have to do
Yeah.
their
Yeah,
So our digital minutes go back to 2012, don't they?
Yeah.
So if anything's before then it's going in the safe and going through loads of old minutes.
so then it is using,
Yeah, and sometimes it's not minutes, because, I mean, I've been going and organising all the stuff in the safe. A lot of the correspondence where things were discussed and things like that is in a separate area, and then the minutes are in one, so it's very difficult to find things if it's historical. I would be suggesting that obviously we need to look into how much we can charge, but maybe you say that the first X number of hours is free,
yeah,
and then after that we charge so much per hour. Because if it's a simple request and it's just looking up in the minutes and you find it within 30 minutes,
yeah,
there's no point charging, because they may not do it as an official freedom of information request, but technically every time a parishioner asks a question, it is a freedom of information
Yeah, yeah.
request.
Under what circumstances can you refuse or can't you?
I think if you know it's going to take you an awful long time to get to the information,
Yeah, if it's going to take you too long to get to the
then it's
information,
not
so
viable.
it's not viable to do it.
Yeah,
If you don't hold the information, or if it is a data protection issue
Yeah.
and you can't give that information out, then you can refuse the request.
it's something like, for instance, last year before I joined the council, people have asked, haven't they, in the press and on Facebook about a payment that was made last year, which is subject of a non-disclosable.
Yeah.
So when
Thing like
people
that,
ask
so-
about things like that, or if it refers to an individual,
Then
then
obviously
it's
you can't
data
answer it.
protection, you can't
Yeah.
answer it. So, yeah, there's
Jen
different
will
things.
and Brandy would know.
so that's like if somebody phoned up and asked for my home telephone number, they can't give
Yeah.
it,
No,
but if they asked for my email address, they can have.
could,
So
Yeah,
it's just, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I'm getting there,
yeah.
I'm nearly with you.
yeah.
What about finances? Do people question that? I mean, that's in the public domain.
Well,
anyway,
again,
isn't it?
a lot of it's now in the public domain because we publish all our expenditure and stuff, so that's fine. So if it's already out there in the public domain, it's already published somewhere else, you just direct them to it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, with most of our finances, again, that's fine, we can give that information out if it's other bits and pieces.
Obviously, if they were asking about salaries and things,
Yeah.
that would be a no-no.
If it, again, it will be data protection. If it
Yeah.
refers to an individual, so you're saying how much does that person get paid, or this payment's gone to this individual. We register it on our check register, but we'll quite often change the name just so it's a general term rather than their actual name. If it's a personal, rather than, because some of them are to an individual person rather than a business, even though it is business related.
Yeah.
So it's just making sure it's correct.
So we're going to defer that until Rick's
Next month.
or
Next meeting.
Yeah.
That's okay with everybody else?
What do you want us to
We
do,
need to-
Bradley? Do we have to?
Yeah.
we have to
I think
propose.
we prefer.
I propose that we defer this.
I'll second that we defer this.
I agree.
Last will get the number right. Number 35 on the agenda, to discuss the purchase of an Apple Mac to utilise Scribe Brick.
So, we were looking at purchasing an Apple Mac so that we get full benefit of Scribe, but however, since then, Jan and myself have been looking at alternative options and discussed at the finance meeting on Monday. We've come up with a better answer, so we no longer need to purchase an Apple Mac.
Okay.
So I propose we remove that from the agenda.
Yes, please, I'll second that.
Agreed.
Agreed. Good. Moving on to number 36 on the agenda, to agree to serve notice on the ARC contract.
So that's our ICT people who give us support, fix equipment, etc., and provide some training on software. That was last year that we entered into the contract, and it's a 1-year contract.
Around March.
Around March it finishes, but we haven't utilised them enough for the money.
What's the cost?
Just 1,400, I think, roughly,
It's a lot of money
for
for
a year.
It is.
So it's not worth the money.
And I have heard that when they are asked, they don't respond very quickly.
Yeah, we thought it would be, because we did have quite a lot of tech issues beforehand, but to be honest, going over to Microsoft and changing our softwares has solved most of them, but we did it all at the same time.
They're very keen to push selling of their own stuff as well, aren't they?
Yeah,
Might be
so
looking at changing
we
the
purchased
router.
a new equipment, a new printer through them, and that's been working, but if anything goes wrong with it, then it does take them quite a long while to
Where
get
are they
sorted.
based?
They're based at Pinchbeck.
Okay, so they are local.
Yeah, so they're local, but they'll try and do it virtually rather than coming out if at all possible.
There must
So
be other.
I don't think we need to go outside at all. We've
I
got
don't,
we've got techie-minded people on the council.
the amount of times that we actually need them,
Yeah.
it's not worth it. Most of the time we have minor issues, we just need to sort something out. Between councillors we can do that.
Yeah.
The printer does actually belong to us.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
it's our
belongs to
principal.
us, yeah. But if we did have a major issue, then
Yeah.
you just get somebody out to have a look at
Yeah.
it on a ad hoc basis.
And it still wouldn't account to that amount,
No.
so.
No.
So yeah, we just got to agree to serve notice so we don't go over into the next year.
Yeah,
Well, I propose that.
I second it.
I'll agree with it.
It was your turn.
Right, moving on to item 37, to discuss budgets for 2022-23.
I can't remember what the budgets are for IT, off the top of my head. Not a
Wasn't
lot,
I think it was
No.
was it £500?
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it spills over into office admin because it includes all the
Yeah.
software and things.
We just added an extra £500
Okay.
to the IT
Did that one,
budget to
didn't
cover
we?
the
Cover the
cost
cost
of the new
software.
software, Realtor software.
But that's all been reviewed, so it's based on our actual costs
Yeah.
now. So we've saved money
Yeah,
overall. with the
overall, we'll save,
RRT.
even though we're going to spend, we're going to save.
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah.
So all the public relations things that we've discussed today, is that going to...
I suppose it depends whether you're actually going to be spending any money because
But producing leaflets to hand out, that's potentially going to cost us isn't it? Unless we do our own in-house printing.
I was going to say, I mean, I've done loads for Fosdyke on
Yeah.
my own paper.
Yeah,
my own project,
yeah, I mean, I'm
no
quite happy to
charge.
use my
We can
printer
do
at home.
in-house printing. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got, it may be that you just want to up your printing costs in your budget a
Yeah.
little bit if you're going to be doing more printing.
Yeah.
But normally I think we've overestimated every single
Yeah.
time, so.
I'm happy to use mine, and I've got bucketfuls of spare cartridges, so.
Yeah.
And I can't see anything on that previous. It's going to cost us a fortune apart from printing. There's
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah,
there
because the
that's-
calendar covers its cost, and
Yeah.
we're going to get sponsorship from businesses for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
price.
And we have in the finance budget, we have got a bit of a slush fund next year, not slush, but we've got contingency is the correct word.
Can't
So,
it?
yeah.
But any money we make from the
Sale of calendars
calendar
can go
will
back
go towards the Christmas cards and other
Yeah.
PR and IT related
Exactly.
stuff.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
I think we should cover our costs. It is just all the software and the admin related stuff,
Okay.
the IT based
Yeah.
things.
Right, so
No change.
that was no change. Item 38, items for discussion and agenda item requests. Well, I think, bearing in mind that we haven't had a meeting since July, was it? There's
Yeah.
been quite a lot,
Yeah, you've done quite a lot
quite a
today.
lot
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
which is excellent.
Well, obviously on the next agenda, the calendar will have to be on because we'll need to see where we're up to.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I would suggest that we have a meeting in January.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
if you put like an item on there, sort of the general, maybe press release type, because you're deciding to do loads of different engagements with the public.
Yeah.
So it's sort of seeing how it's going, do we need to make any adaptations? Is there another press release you want to do, kind of following on from things? That's a very general agenda item, but
We'll narrow that down when we get
yeah,
there.
that sort of idea.
Yeah.
So when will we need to let you know if we have any agenda items?
When would you like the meeting for in January? Obviously, we're full council on the 17th.
Probably best to have it before the full council meeting, isn't it? Because then if we have got anything,
Yeah,
we can
give
flag it up to
people a
them.
chance to.
Yeah.
So the
So that you said 17th, that's
full
the...
council. Well, finance on the 10th, so.
So
any
soon.
time
So
after
shall we
that,
stick to
really.
should we stick to a Thursday?
Yeah, I'm happy with
Because
that.
that's
Whatever day.
good for Sam, isn't it?
Yeah, Thursday, if it's going to be during the day, is my very best.
So can we say
2 o'clock, okay.
Thursday the 13th at 2?
Yeah, I mean, you won't be able to, if you've got agenda items for full council, you'd have to decide them before, because, yeah,
No, because we haven't got enough time for the agenda, have we?
yeah,
So would the week before be better then?
It would be a lot better.
yeah,
Which would be the 6th?
6th, yeah.
6th of January.
6th of January.
I'm happy. Oh. Let me just double check. I think I've got a training or something on that day.
Okay.
But I can't remember what time it is. So.
But we can just adjust the times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine,
I've got a feeling it's in the morning, most of them are, so.
yeah.
I know I'm meeting up with people on the corner for savings review.
Yes, meeting Bingham Woods, 10
Yeah.
o'clock.
And that's fine.
So that's okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So the 6th of the 1st, 22 at 2.
Yeah.
So on that then, I'll have the calendar quotes. I'm sure other people will get
Yes, I'll
some
get
as
one for
well.
that as well.
And I'll get in touch with you all, read Christmas cards once I've got
Yeah,
a list.
Yeah.
Even if it's within the next day or so, so that
Okay.
we can, it'd be nice if we, I know it sounds awful, but if we all sign them.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
happy with that.
well, every single councillor or PR and IT.
Everything.
I think certainly Steve
I think
should.
I think Stephen should definitely.
And yourself.
Yeah,
And I
And
think,
you, because you're doing it.
yeah, and I think it would be nice if either Jan or Brandy signed it as well.
Yes.
yeah,
I just think it'd be nice if we, so if I get them all ready,
Yeah, yeah.
and then all you have is a pile that you've just got to go through
Yeah,
and
yeah,
sign.
yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
I'm happy to
Pick
sign.
a day to do that, and then whoever turns up.
Well, the meeting would be good, wouldn't it? Next
Yeah.
week, in between.
Just pass the cards round and do it.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
It really won't take that long.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's just because if I have literally everything ready, envelopes done and everything,
Yeah,
then,
yeah. We can do that on Monday in between
yeah,
Yeah.
the two meetings, can't we?
exactly.
Yeah.
So if I just write in each card from your parish council,
Yeah.
Yeah, from your parish council, yeah.
is that acceptable to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine.
From your parish council and then on the envelope, the name of the, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
then
Presumably
everybody
most
can.
people know that they are in whole pitch.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
You'd like to think, yeah. But even if not, then they will do over the next few weeks, because we're going to go out there and
Yeah.
bash
Yeah.
them with it,
Yeah.
Okay.
over the head with big sticks.
Right, thank you
Yeah.
very much. So meeting finished at 15:05.
Yeah.